Hello everyone and welcome back to Thailand Beach with me, Santon. As you recall in my last video, I was invited to a university reunion. Now, the students there graduated over 40 years ago, and I wanted to do a deep dive to find out what it was that made students from university and schools stick together so long. What is it that makes them want to go monthly, 6 monthly, annually, for decades? What was it? What was the glue? What was the catalyst that held this all together? After talking to my student friends, it comes down to two things. The first one is a thing called Sotus. Now, Sotus is like a hot potato at the moment, so I had to think long and hard before actually doing this video. For two reasons. I didn't want to tread on anybody's toes, and certainly didn't want to disrespect anybody's cultures or traditions and beliefs. So after this, I want you to decide whether you're for or against Sotus. Now, I also ask you to, or invite you to make comments in my comment section, but I also ask you again to be mindful, because again, this is a delicate subject, and each country, each traditions and cultures are slightly different. So also, I need to stress that these comments that I'm making are imparted to you from the comments that I was given, and also it's my own thoughts on the subject. So again, we need to tread very carefully here. So anyway, let's get into Sotus after the intro. See you later. Welcome back from the intro. I do apologise if you experience any background noise issues. It's the fact I've had to put the fan back on because sometimes my studio in the afternoon gets hotter than a ladyboy's gusset, and to be honest, I need the airflow. I will try and sort that in the editing. Now, we're not here to do a deep dive into ladyboys' gussets, although that might make interesting content on another day. We're actually here to do a deep dive into something a little more sensitive called Sotus. So what is Sotus? So Sotus is a form of hazing. In actual fact, it's the big daddy of hazing, a more intensive version of hazing. And it's not designed for the individual students or a group of students, it's designed for the whole of the freshman year. Now, this is obviously a pecking order system, a hierarchy system. In this case, it's the graduating students will then enforce respect from the freshmen by doing different tasks and activities. This normally takes place around the first week of June. So this is probably last about a week or 2 weeks, and it's the first weeks of the freshman's journey at university. The majority of tasks that the seniors would give to the freshmen are generally physical and mentally demanding, and they could last for hours. Now, if one freshman breaks the chain or ruins the exercise, then the other freshmen are then forced to do the activity again, and sometimes this will lead the seniors to ridicule the freshmen that broke the chain or failed the exercise. It was also explained to me that this was designed, or Sotus was designed, to break the spirit of the student in such a way that when the student comes to university thinking I, they eventually lose the I and become a we. So the rest of the freshman group become like brothers and sisters and a new family. And that way it's designed that they stick together. They help each other. So if someone was struggling with their classes, the others will help. It's not because they've got any sense of guilt or any sense of that. It's the fact is they form such a bond that they want to help each other. And I think this is the reason why students, when they've graduated, will still stick together for year after year after year, because they built up this camaraderie. And now I'm going to speak a bit more about that later on. So far, so good. So Sotus has been around for generation after generation. It's nothing new. In actual fact, it's formed part of Thai culture. So it's designed in such a way that you're a freshman today, but eventually you'll graduate and you will be the one then setting the task for the freshmen and then getting their respect. And that's the way it's been, as I say, for generation after generation. This is now where it gets controversial, and I need to be very careful. Yeah, so it turns out over the last couple of years, some universities have banned the use of the Sotus system in their universities. Any seniors seen engaging with freshmen, inviting them to take part in any activities, whether it be mental or physical, or where the student feels that they're in danger, the senior student will be expelled from school. So this has set off a large debate does Sotus still have a place in modern day universities? However, I have to bear in mind that there's just a few universities that have stopped it, but most other universities still encourage the use or don't have a problem with the use of Sotus. So yeah, so that's kind of it. So we had to sort of skirt very carefully around that bit. And the sad thing is, of late, some of the practices and activities that the seniors are engaging with the freshmen have maybe not been so wholesome. And there was a report in one of the papers to say that a student actually lost their life during the Solstice week, which is extremely sad and should never have happened. So that was Sotus. So I didn't go too much into the end. I left that a little bit short. I didn't want to go into too much of the some of the public condemnation about use of Sotus, whether it's right or wrong. That's not for me to decide or to tell you what to decide. That's something you need to make your own minds up. I have my thoughts, and I'm sure you have your thoughts. However, I'd like you to leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'd like to read them. It'd be nice to sort of share on this one. However, this bit is now more for sort of food for thought and devil's advocate. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, or my new friend here will come and have her babies in your bed. Yeah, so this final part really is kind of food for thought, and it's also me playing devil's advocate. Now, I went to London South Bank University. My freshers week was just a few days. It just involved a lot of alcohol, a lot of meeting and greeting, and a few games, but there was no hazing and nothing like that. And I know that the times when they go through their SOTUS, there's no alcohol involved at all. Now, I know that America still use the hazing system, whether it be college or university, and I don't really understand the system. So if someone's been through that process, if they could let me know in the comments to give me a better understanding, that would be fantastic. So during your sort of hazing period, does that lead to just means to an end? Or is it that you then become part of a brotherhood, and then that leads on to the unions and stuff like that, and then you help each other out like the sort of the old school tie, so to speak. So that's that kind of thing. Now the other bit that I found rather interesting was the fact that they said that during the part of Soltus is the fact that they try to stop people from becoming to university with the I attitude, and then the we become a we. Now I kind of experienced that during my basic training when I was in the services. You know, for the first few weeks you're kind of broken, and you're treated like a maggot till you then sort of pass out, and then that kind of teaches you how to work as a group. You know, you work together, you sleep together, you eat together, and I would presume you go to war, and worst case scenario you would probably defend your country and your fellow soldiers and friends to death, possibly. I don't know. Anyway, that's just me spitballing. So that's my one of the things I thought about, because I kind of understand that bit. As the fact is, that kind of builds camaraderie, doesn't it? You know. But the bit that I'm now going to spitball to you, and it's just devil's advocate, is the fact is these systems have been going on for years and years. You know, hierarchies, whether it be in the army, the navy, whether it be the police force or the fire service, even day-to-day work. You've got your CEOs, you've got your managers, you've got your under managers, you've got your staff. So now my question is, again, it's just spitballing and it's devil's advocate. Things are now changing. So SOTUS has been going on for generation, and things are being fine. Is it now that millennials and Gen Z no longer want to form part of this? They no longer want to be sort of part of the old establishment. They want their new establishments, and they no longer want to go forward with these traditional things that have happened for years and years and years before. Anyway, just threw that out there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Yeah, be kind. Anyway, I'll see you on the next journey. Thanks, everyone. Bye.